Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith, I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm working with the lovely Quiet Meadow stamp set, which is a lovely collage style stamp set. Really pretty pen and sort of like line drawings and sort of texture stamps that just add a bit of dimension. And I'm pairing that today with these fabulous tailored tags dies. As you can see, I've got lots already cut out. Really good value. You get 4 sizes of tags in 2 different styles, and then you get these little dies that cut out the pieces to go on the top to reinforce it as well. Useful for so many things, and certainly with Christmas coming up, well worth getting. And I'm going to show you the card we're making. So this is the card, and you'll see here I've just used the stamps to create a collage and then created a tag to go on the front. And with this one I actually used my ink pad to do it, but I'm going to show you how to use your Stampin' Right markers, as I've got those in the new in colours to work with as well. Well, new, they came out in the summer, gosh, how time is flying. And I thought I'd use the Fresh Freesia as a change. So I've cut 2 of the largest tags out of this one with the pretty scalloped effect, and you've got these with a squarer tag as well, a more traditional sort of tag, but I rather like the sort of extra effect of these. So the one in Fresh Freesia you just keep plain, and this one I'm going to use, as I said, my Stampin' Right markers, and I'm going to use the Fresh Freesia for the flower, and then I'm going to use the Soft Succulent for the stem to create that. And this is the great thing about Stampin' Right markers, is that you can use them to go ahead and colour on, as well as draw. You can use them to colour your stamps as well. So all I'm doing is I'm using the brush tip and just lightly brushing, so almost as if it's on its side, all those bits that would be the stems of the flowers and the leaves, obviously. Okay, so I'm just coming in with those. I think I've covered pretty much everything there. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with my Fresh Freesia, but just go over those flowers. And those sort of flower buds as well. I've probably got a great shot of my head there. Apologies. So just on the side, have a quick look, and you should be able to see where you've added the colour to those. Just make sure you've sort of covered all those little bits. And the important thing about this is you then huff on it. That means you breathe with an open mouth, literally as if you're going, ha. So, and that just re-moistens the stamp. So that means that you can then stamp, and that will reactivate the ink. Hold it down for a second. And there we have a really pretty stamp which is coloured in our lovely Fresh Freesia and Soft Succulent. That obviously is going to layer up. So now what we want to do is do our layer for our card. So card base, I've got some thick basic white here, which is what I tend to use for my card bases, and then I use ordinary standard basic white for the actual layers to go on the front. So I'm just going to make sure that that is 29 centimetres. I just find that easier to do with mine, and I'm going to score that. It's 10.5 centimetres wide. I'm going to score that at 14.5 to create our standard card base. I've then got a layer of Soft Succulent, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then I want some basic white. So it's just slightly smaller than a quarter of a sheet of white. In fact, I've got a piece almost cut. So you're going to take that 0.5 centimetre down again. So that's going to be 9.5 centimetres on the short edge by 13.5 on the long edge. And that's going to create our layer for the front. Now, if you wanted to, if you were being frugal, you could gut the centre of that out, because you're putting onto thick white. That would then give you a panel. For speed, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as it is today. But what you want is you want to pop your various stamps that you've got for the background on here. So I've got my text, my sort of text stamp, and I've got my texture stamp. So I'm going to do my text first. Now I'm not good at getting things straight, I'll be quite honest with you. So I'm using my grid paper to just help with that slightly, and I'm going to put a post-it note kind of just to keep that in place. The inks I'm going to use, I'm going to use my soft succulent, but I will probably stamp that off because it is quite a dark colour. And I'm going to use my fresh freesia as well, and I'll use that for my text. So ink up your stamp, and then I'm using my grid paper just to help to create that text pattern. Just move that post-it note down. I'm just not sort of measuring these, just adding them on in just of a variety of positions so that you get the text in different locations. I'm going to come in with my soft succulent, and I'm just going to stamp that. It's quite dark, so I'm going to stamp off a bit first. Now part of that is because my ink pads are quite of juicy, quite new. So there we go. So that just creates a bit of texture and interest. And if you want to come in, the one end has got quite small dots, just adds quite a pretty effect. And while we've got it, I'm just going to add a little bit of texture to the inside of my card as well. And at this point, normally I would also decorate my envelope. She says, having not got an envelope out to hand, so I won't be decorating one today. And I'm just stamping off with that as well. I probably didn't see that, so I've just stamped a little bit in that bottom corner to tie it in with the design on the front of the card. Okay, so now we can quickly add our layers onto our card. So I'm using Stampin' Seal. So Stampin' Seal is our tape runner, and this one is designed for flat layers. And by that I mean so it's not a moving sort of card. If it was got moving parts on it, I'd be using my Seal Plus. And then I'm going to add my basic white stamped layer onto the front there. Again, by opening the card, I'm making sure that I'm putting it in the right orientation for that card. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this tag to back. So all I want to do though is put glue on this corner here. And I'm just going to do that by lining up the two holes at probably about 30 degrees, something like that. Like so. And then we're on to dimensionals. So just grab your dimensionals. Now if you wanted to, you could then add some ribbon. I haven't actually got my any fresh freesia ribbon. What I have got is some soft succulent ribbon. So we could just add a little bit of that on for some interest. Helps if I use my ribbon scissors. So the reason I keep ribbon scissors, so using paper blunts your scissors. So when I'm cutting ribbon, I do tend to keep a pair of scissors purely for, so it's like having fabric scissors. So I have to keep them out of the hands of anybody else in the house because they don't understand this. But the way I differentiate with those in my craft room is you can see I literally tie, I suppose a little bit of generously, you probably need about 4 inches. I tie a bit of ribbon onto my scissors so I always know easily which are my ribbon scissors. I probably just want another couple of dimensionals onto there because what I haven't done is supported that corner. I'll do one. Just take the backs off those and then pop that on the front of your card. And there we have a pair of pretty Quiet Meadow cards using the new tailored tags and using our markers to actually colour our stamps as well. And as you can see, quick and easy to make a very pretty pair of cards. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon. And don't forget, if you'd like to purchase any of the items you've seen today, just pop to the description bar below this video and you'll find links there to the post and also links to the items in my Stampin' Up shop. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye now.